He humiliated me in front of his friends. He laughed at me. He called me simple. He said I wasn't impressive. But I didn't cry. I didn't argue. I just revealed the truth. And their faces went pale. He thought he knew who I was. Until I showed him who I really was. And when I did, everything he thought he had came crashing down. My name is Maya Patel. I'm 32 years old and I live in downtown Chicago, Illinois. I work long hours. I dress simply. I don't wear designer clothes or drive a flashy car. I'm quiet. I'm introverted. I don't brag. I don't seek attention. To most people, I'm just Maya. Average. Unremarkable. Forgettable. That's how my boyfriend Tyler saw me too. Or at least that's how he treated me. Tyler and I met 3 years ago at a mutual friend's dinner party. He was charming, confident, and funny. He worked in sales for a marketing firm. He was good at talking to people. Good at making them like him. I was drawn to his energy. He made me laugh. He made me feel seen. At first, we started dating and for the first year, things were great. He was attentive. He'd text me good morning. He'd plan surprise dates. He'd tell me I was beautiful. I thought I'd found someone who loved me for who I was. Someone who didn't need me to be loud or flashy or perfect. I thought he appreciated my quiet strength. But over time, things changed. Tyler started making little comments. You're too simple, Maya. You don't really understand how the business world works. Just let me handle the social stuff. You're not good at it. At first, I thought he was trying to help. But the comments kept coming. And they started to hurt. He'd criticize the way I dressed. Why don't you wear something more stylish? He'd criticize the way I spoke. You're so quiet. People think you're boring. He'd criticize my career. I mean, it's fine, but it's not exactly impressive. I stayed quiet. I didn't fight back. I told myself he was just stressed. That he didn't mean it. That he loved me. But deep down, I started to feel small. Invisible. Like I was shrinking to fit into his world. I thought he loved me. But he loved how small I made myself for him. About 6 months ago, Tyler started hanging out with a new group of friends from work. They were all young, ambitious, image-obsessed. They drove expensive cars. They wore designer suits. They posted constantly on Instagram about their lavish lifestyles. And Tyler wanted to be like them. He started changing. He bought new clothes. He leased a luxury car he couldn't really afford. He started going to expensive restaurants and exclusive clubs. And he started treating me differently. Like I was an accessory that didn't quite match his new image. He'd talk over me in conversations. He'd dismiss my opinions. He'd make jokes at my expense in front of his friends. Maya doesn't really get it, he'd say with a laugh. Or, she's sweet, but she's not exactly a go-getter. I started to dread going out with him. But I didn't leave. I kept hoping he'd go back to the man I fell in love with. I kept hoping he'd remember who I was. Who we were. But then came the night that changed everything. Tyler invited me to a dinner with his new group of friends. It was at a fancy rooftop restaurant in downtown Chicago. The kind of place with a dress code and a wine list that costs more than my monthly grocery budget. I didn't want to go. But Tyler insisted. Just come. It'll be fun. But please, Maya, don't embarrass me. Just be quiet and let me do the talking. I should have said no. I should have walked away right then. But I didn't. I got dressed in a simple black dress, did my hair, and went. When we arrived, Tyler's friends were already there. 5 of them. 2 couples and 1 single guy named Ethan. They were loud, confident, dripping with wealth. The women wore designer dresses and carried $1,000 handbags. The men wore expensive watches and talked about their stock portfolios. I felt out of place immediately. But I smiled politely and sat down next to Tyler. He barely acknowledged me. He was too busy laughing and talking with his friends, trying to impress them. The conversation revolved around money. Who made the most? Who had the best investment strategy? Who was closing the biggest deals? I sat quietly, sipping my water, not saying much. At one point, one of the women, Brooke, turned to me and asked, "So Maya, what do you do?" I opened my mouth to answer, but before I could say anything, Tyler jumped in. He laughed. "She doesn't do anything special. She's just Maya." The table went silent for a second. Then a few people chuckled awkwardly. I felt my face burn. Brooke looked uncomfortable. "Oh. Well, I'm sure whatever you do is great." Tyler raised his glass and said, "I mean, she's sweet, but she's not exactly impressive. Not like you guys." Everyone laughed. Not because it was funny, but because they didn't know what else to do. I sat there, frozen. Humiliated. My hands were shaking under the table. I wanted to leave. I wanted to scream. But I just sat there, forcing a smile, pretending it didn't hurt. What Tyler didn't know was that I wasn't just Maya. Not even close. I never told Tyler what I really did for a living. Not because I was hiding it, but because he never asked. He assumed I worked some boring office job. He assumed I made a modest salary. He assumed I was ordinary. And I let him believe that. Because I wanted to see if he'd love me without knowing the truth. If he'd love me for who I was, not what I had. But he didn't. For the past 5 years, I've been working as a senior financial analyst for a private equity firm. I manage investment portfolios for high net worth clients. I work with hedge funds, real estate developers, and tech startups. I make strategic financial decisions that move millions of dollars. Last year alone, I made over $400,000. But I don't talk about it. I don't brag. I don't post about it on social media. I live modestly. I save aggressively. I invest smart. And I keep my private life private. Tyler never noticed the late nights I worked. He never noticed the conference calls I took in the other room. He never noticed the bonuses I received. He never asked. He just assumed I was struggling. That I was lucky to have him. That he was the successful one. But the truth was, I'd been quietly funding parts of our life together. When Tyler's car broke down last year, I paid for the repairs. When he couldn't make rent 1 month because he spent too much on his new wardrobe, I covered it. When he wanted to go on an expensive vacation, I paid for half without telling him. I did all of this quietly, without asking for credit, because I loved him. Because I thought we were a team. But sitting at that table, listening to him humiliate me in front of his friends, I realized something. I didn't owe him my silence anymore. After Tyler's comment, the conversation moved on. But I could feel the shift. Ethan, the single guy, kept glancing at me. He looked uncomfortable. Like he knew something was off. Finally, he spoke. Maya seems quiet, but I think she's hiding something. Tyler laughed. Trust me, she's not. Ethan raised an eyebrow. Are you sure? She's got that look. Like she knows something we don't. Tyler rolled his eyes. Dude, she's just shy. There's nothing to hide. I smiled for the first time that night. A real smile. And I said, actually, Tyler, I think it's time I told everyone what I do. Tyler looked at me, confused. What? I pulled out my phone. I opened my work email. And I turned the screen toward the table. Funny thing. Tyler never asked what I do for a living. He just assumed. So let me clarify. I showed them an email from my CEO. It was a congratulations message for closing a major deal earlier that week. A deal worth $18 million. The table went silent. Brooke's eyes widened. Wait. You work in finance. Senior financial analyst for Grayson Capital. I manage investment portfolios for high net worth clients. Ethan leaned forward. Grayson Capital? That's one of the top firms in the city. I nodded. I've been there for 5 years. Tyler's face went pale. Maya, why didn't you tell me? I looked at him. You never asked. One of the other guys, Marcus, said, wait, so you make over $400,000 a year. Yes. The table erupted in shocked whispers. Brooke looked at Tyler with disgust. You humiliated her? You called her unimpressive. Tyler stammered. I didn't know. You didn't care, I said calmly. You assumed I was beneath you. You assumed I was simple. You never asked about my life. My work. My dreams. You just made assumptions and treated me like I was lucky to be with you. Ethan shook his head. Man, that's messed up. Tyler reached for my hand. Maya, I'm sorry. I didn't mean. I pulled my hand away. Yes, you did. You meant every word. You wanted to look good in front of your friends, and you used me as a punchline. Brooke stood up. I think I'm done here. She looked at Tyler. You should be ashamed of yourself. She walked out. The others followed one by one, muttering apologies to me as they left. Tyler and I were left alone at the table. He tried to apologize. He tried to explain. But I didn't want to hear it. I stood up, grabbed my coat, and walked out. He followed me, begging me to stay. To talk. To give him another chance. But I was done. Over the next few days, Tyler called and texted constantly. He said he was sorry. He said he didn't know. He said he loved me. But I didn't respond. I blocked his number. I packed up the few things I had at his apartment and moved them out. His friends stopped talking to him. Word spread about what he did. People at his company found out. He became known as the guy who humiliated his successful girlfriend. His reputation took a hit, and he lost the respect of the people he was trying so hard to impress. Meanwhile, I focused on myself. I went to therapy. I reconnected with old friends. I threw myself into my work, and I started to feel like myself again. Confident. Strong. Free. A few weeks later, Tyler showed up at my apartment. He begged me to take him back. He said he'd changed. He said he'd never treat me that way again. I looked at him and said, "You didn't lose me because you didn't know who I was. You lost me because you didn't care enough to find out." I closed the door, and I never looked back. It's been 6 months since that night. I'm doing better than ever. I got promoted at work. I'm traveling more. I'm dating again, but this time I'm choosing people who value me for who I am, not what I can offer them. Tyler tried to reach out a few more times, but I never responded. I heard through mutual friends that he's struggling, that his new friends abandoned him, that he's realized what he lost. But it's too late. I'm not interested in being someone's regret. I learned something important through all of this. People will only value you as much as you value yourself. And if you make yourself small to fit into someone else's world, you'll disappear. I'm done shrinking. I'm done being quiet. I'm done hiding who I am to make someone else comfortable. He humiliated me in front of his friends. And karma humiliated him in front of the world. Has someone ever underestimated you? Have you ever hidden your true self to make someone else feel bigger? Tell me in the comments. Your voice matters. Like and subscribe for more revenge justice stories. Thank you for listening.